The Bonita Springs Lions Club was founded and chartered in 1962. In 1966, under reorganization, the Lions Club began to grow. We assumed property and have been continuously providing services throughout the community for the past 50-plus years. We've provided many services to organizations throughout the community, as well as working and providing a scoreboard and a park at the baseball fields, and working with the city to have a children's park at Riverside Park. The Bonita Springs Lions Club wishes to thank all in the community for their support over the past 50-plus years, and we look forward to serving you further in the community.
I volunteered many times for the Lions Club, but I never joined the Lions Club because I wasn't pushed hard enough. And finally, Ken Shivel pushed me and said, "You need to join the Lions Club." So I did 10 years ago, and I've been an active member in the Lions Club ever since. And I drove truck for a while, and after a while they said I was too old to drive, so I had to quit driving. But anyway, they decided that I should be president of the Lions Club. And it's been a very interesting and educational experience to be a Lion, because the Lions do so much for other people. And after you're here for a while, you really get your heart in it, because you see what the Lions Club does for the community, for other people. And it's really gratifying to be part of this Lions Club of Bonita Springs.
Ken Shivel asked me if I would contribute my memories of how the Lions Club helped change my life when I was first hired to teach at Bonita Springs Elementary in about 1970. I had been teaching in Naples, but wanted to get closer to home. And one of the first things that they did was the Lions Club offered to send me to Winter Haven to participate in a week-long workshop of how to help a child. And it was just the making of my 15 years at Bonita Elementary. What it was, I went to this community college for a week, and the ophthalmologists and the optometrists would lecture on how to help a child. And the basis of their lecture was how to use the jumping board, the balance beam, and best of all, the templates. The templates were 8 by 11 in size, and fitted over a sheet of paper. And they had all the basic shapes on them: the circle, the oval lying down, the oval standing up, the square, the triangle, and the rectangle. And so when I came home from the workshop, Ken and David Edge and other members of the Lions Club immediately made us a jumping board, a balance beam, and a set of these templates, about 25. I usually had about 24, 25 pupils. And the way I used the templates was I had an overhead projector, and I would take my pencil and go round and round in each shape 10 times. And that way the children learn the basic shapes. And from there, they learned their alphabet and how to make it. We made the A inside the triangle, the B inside the square, the C inside the circle, and so on. They loved it. I went on to be at Bonita Elementary the last 15 years that I taught, and I used those things that the Lions Club had gifted me with each class, even if I were teaching first grade or first and second, whatever. And I retired in 1984, and I look back on my week at Winter Haven and learning about how to help a child and then putting it into practice as one of my happiest memories.
In 1996, I retired as a teacher, coach, principal, associate superintendent in Anderson, Indiana. And I came to Bonita Springs. I checked out the Lions Club that was here because I had been a member of the Lions Club in Indiana. And I soon got involved because of my background in education. I was asked to chair the scholarship committee, which I have done for approximately 20 years now. It's a very rewarding experience because we have seen so many of our young people in this community who have become teachers, nurses, worked as a paramedic, and we've followed their careers, and it's really been rewarding because they give the Lions Club a lot of credit because our scholarships represented $8,000 gift to them. We did that $2,000 for 4 years, and that was one of the most rewarding experiences I have had with the Lions Club. But I've been a Lions Club member for 31 years now, and it's one of the finest organizations I've ever been associated with. And we've also given grants to all of the schools for different special projects that they wanted to have some financial support, and through our thrift store, through a pancake breakfast, farmers market, different projects, we've raised the money so that we can give back to this community approximately $250,000 each year. Our motto is, we serve, and we really emphasize that with all of our new members because it is a service organization.
I'd like to introduce you to Joe Jackson. Joe is the chair of our screening committee that goes out for Bonita Beach Lions Club. And most of the time they screen preschools and try to find kids that need help in the area of sight and hearing. Joe, tell the folks exactly what you do.
We go to each of the schools that have been assigned to us by the Early Learning Coalition. We have 34 schools that were assigned to us. Those schools are ones which are, most of them are private, many of them are religious, some are not, but they're schools in which we go to classes that are for 3- and 4-year-olds. Now the interesting thing is, in the beginning of the year, we'll have some kids that are 2-year-old in the 3-year-old class, and in the 4-year-old class, some of the kids will turn 5 during the year. So we have a range from 2 to 5. But what we do is we screen them for vision and hearing. And the screening and vision is a very excellent program. It's a $7,000 machine we use to test, and it tells us very specifically, is the child's measurement within range or is it out of range? And it gives exactly the issues to address. We also do the same with hearing, and we measure where their child can hear with an audiometer or with a narrow scan, which measures the inner ear. And the basic issue is we need to know, can this kid function in school with those skills or not? And if they can't, then there's a problem with reading for both vision and hearing. You can't hear, you can't see, you cannot read. So what we want to do is test those kids or screen those kids and get them so that we can give the feedback to the parents. Now, the vast majority of kids basically are okay, they pass, not a problem. It's those 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 kids that we get that need help that we want to make sure those parents have a chance to go get an evaluation, get it corrected, because a lot of times it's easy to correct them and we get the child help.
Back in '71, well, I chartered with a club in just south of Louisville, Kentucky. 1983, I come down here, transferred in early '83. One of the main things that I worked at was I got involved with the thrift store. Next thing you know, I was driving the truck. We ended up finally, we bought a new truck and worked it for several years. I don't know how many years, but several years. And then, but when I quit getting too old to drive the truck, well, we had ended up with 2 new trucks, and that's about it.
I was very fortunate to be asked to be in the Lions Club in 1966. I had been a volunteer fireman for about 5 years at that time, and there was 4 or 5 of us that became Lions in October of 1966. And we're very proud of this organization for what it's done in all the 50 years that I've been involved with the Lions Club. And one of the major things that we accomplished, we helped save the baby's life way back in 1969. And that really gets into your heart when you see something accomplished of that nature. We were very fortunate, but also back in 1969 and 70, to have the first school, private school, so we wouldn't have to take our kids on a bus to Fort Myers. And later on in that same time period, we also had How to Help a Child's program that Mrs. Georgia Horton was our school teacher at that time. We were the very first in the state of Florida to have that. I think this club has been very blessed to have all the programs, projects, playgrounds, and we've sponsored so many scholarships, just not youth programs, but the site clinic. And when Father Foley brought us the information on and what he wanted in this community is to assistance office. And we helped Father Foley get the assistance office started. And the monies we've raised and spent, thanks to the community for their support. If we didn't have the community to support us, we could not produce all the programs and projects that we do.
I have been a member of the Lions Club for 32 years. When I retired here after 32 years in the Army, I was looking for an organization that was a working organization instead of a social organization. I found the Lions Club was perfect for those conditions. My main activities have been working in the thrift store, and I have been chairman of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee for most of the time that I was in the club. I also was the project manager for the last building that we constructed for the thrift store. Being a retired civil engineer, that was right up my alley. I've enjoyed the club very much, and it's done everything that I expected it to do.